This is the first time Pastor Chuck ever spoke to me. Some of you know Pastor Chuck Smith. He was a pastor of Calvary. He was my pastor. So we used to have to sit on the floor. We couldn't even, if you didn't get there early, you didn't have a chair. So we got there early enough to get a chair. So my sister and my cousin and I were sitting there about 10 rows, 5 rows, about 5 rows from the front. And worship went on, and there are people just lining up all of the aisles. And then Pastor comes out to speak. And when Pastor Chuck came out to speak, my cousin Ray turns to me and tells me, I got to go. And I said, we can't go. We're in a Bible study. We can't get up and walk out. And he says, I got to go. I have someone coming to the house. And I said, Ray, we can't do that. You don't just get up in a Bible study and walk out. He says, David, I have to go. So I had to stand up. I was just a few rows in the front, and Pastor Chuck's standing there, and he's looking. And you got to understand something. The whole sanctuary only sat about 200 people. It was very small. And so we're all lining up like, so when you get up, I mean, and there are people all through the aisles. And when I stood up with my cousin and my sister, Pastor Chuck turned, and he was right there. And he looks at me, he said, young man, that's my first conversation with Chuck. And he let me know. He let me know. He said, young man, if you knew that you weren't going to stay for the Bible study, you shouldn't have taken a seat for somebody who was going to. I said, your mama? No, I looked at him. I looked, I didn't know what to say. That's our first conversation, and it really wasn't a conversation, it was a rebuke. And then my cousin, who wasn't even saved, does the one-way sign. And he's just doing this like this. He didn't have to go. He just didn't want to stay.